catching feelings, baby.
Hey loves, welcome to our Tarotorial deck unboxing. I couldn't wait yesterday, so I kind of slightly started without you, but not really. This is just the thank you note with the invoice information on it, but it came with another thank you card with a lunar calendar on it, so I thought it was pretty cool. I also received this thank you card. I know you're probably like, well, why are there so many thank you cards? Well, we'll get to that portion in a minute and unpack all of that. But for now, this is the Magician Tarot card image that was also sent. So, you know, you can have kind of like a keepsake outside of the deck. And then, of course, it came in this black wrapping paper. We can share this and it'd be okay for YouTube. But it also came with a sticker. And then, of course, all right. So it came in this bubble wrapping, and also the box is laminated. So I don't know if laminated is the right word, but yeah. It's got packaging on it as well. And of course, I forgot to grab my scissors. All right, so off the bat, we have the magnet box. As you can see there. Here's what it looks like on the sides. This is the top. This is the magnet side that opens and closes. And then we have the back of the box for the tarot deck. Here what the top and bottom looks like. And on the back it just says the Tarotorial Expanded Tarot Deck is the perfect companion to embark on your tarot journey. It is user-friendly for individuals at any level of experience, whether just starting or for proficient readers seeking to delve further into the enigmatic world of tarot. I promise I can talk, y'all. With its detailed interpretation of each card's symbolism and significance, this deck is a valuable resource for novice and seasoned readers alike. And this is by ravenandrogue.com. Their Instagram is Raven and Rogue, as so is their TikTok. So if you're ever curious to check them out, by all means, have at it. Oh, turn that right side up so you can actually see it. All right, let's dive in. Oh, I'm so excited. So on the inside flap of the tarot box, we have a star. I don't know if you can see that as clearly, but hopefully so, right? But it's pretty cool. And then of course it's black and just gorgeous. We've got the inside tab or ribbon to help you pull the cards and everything out. They are supposed to be matte black finish, so I'm really excited about this. I purchased this deck on Kickstarter. Oh my god, look at that. Oh my god, look at that. How freaking cool is that? And then this is the back of the cards. Oh my gosh, like so freaking worth the wait. Okay, so really quickly, quick story. We ordered on Kickstarter and I placed this order roughly about a year and a month or two or so ago. And you know, that's to be expected with Kickstarter, especially when you're talking about these different projects where you just have no clue how the what are they called, the samples, how the samples are going to turn out, and if the deck creator has to send them back, or you know, switch vendors. Literally anything could happen when you are using Kickstarter or investing on Kickstarter for these different projects. And so unfortunately with this particular campaign, there were a lot of issues with the vendor, not the creator themselves, but the vendor that they were using, and the card stock and the quality of the cards and all the different things that could possibly have gone wrong. And this poor soul, like, this lady was giving her all. She was doing her best to kind of manage, but ultimately, when everything was said and done, she was receiving unalive threats and just all kind of craziness because people were being impatient and not being willing to understand what was happening. And again, it took over a year, or close to a year and a month or so, to get this deck. Again, definitely worth the wait, as you can see, but it was just a lot going on. And so that's why we have all the different thank you cards and gifts and everything in the deck. But yeah, so continuing on really quickly, the inside of the card box also has the same star that's on the inner flap there. So gorgeous nonetheless, very beautiful. And that's that. So we're going to go ahead and tuck this back in and set this aside and get going. So yo, I'm like so freaking excited. I love this finish. So it's not black matte, but it is black iridescent. I don't know if I really hope the camera is picking this up. Oh my gosh, so when I go back to edit, we're gonna see how well this came through, but I really hope you can see this. And I'm pretty sure the camera is not doing this any justice, okay? And then of course we have the back of the cards. Now the card stock is interesting. It's not bad. Oh crap, I forgot to get the specs of the card stock. Let's see. I wonder where's my, well, I'm filming on my phone. I'll make sure to put the details for the card stock information and what have you in the description box if I can find it. If not, you know, that's the fun part about researching tarot decks. I digress. So we're gonna go ahead and look at each of the cards. So to my understanding, because this is the very first time that I've ever purchased from Raven and Rogue and, you know, ordered the Tarotorial deck. From my understanding though, this is the second edition of this particular deck series or deck offering, if you will. The initial version didn't have these elements on it or picture in the center here depicting the traditional Rider-Waite-Smith tarot decks images. So I think it's a really cool upgrade and addition to this particular style of deck. Especially when you're talking about being new and being a beginner to tarot. I think it's very helpful to be able to have the images and then the symbols to tell you the different depictions of what, or the different descriptions, excuse me, of what the images mean and where the symbolism and everything like that is coming from and originating from. Now, what I don't have with me is the actual guidebook, and that's because I opted for the digital version. I've been reading tarot since I was a kid, so I didn't need the actual book. In hindsight, just from a collector standpoint, yes, it would have been amazing to have it. From what I understand, that looks phenomenal too. It was supposed to be printed in color. Again, I don't physically have it, so I can't tell you from firsthand experience that it's printed in color. That's just the information that was provided on the Kickstarter campaign. Okay, but the digital guide that I received is in color as well, but again, it's digital, so I don't physically have it in hand to show you tangibly. Okay, but let's go ahead and get into the actual cards. So up first we have the Fool, the Magician, and so essentially they are in order. The High Priestess. And what's really cool to me is that there's a lot of diversity in this deck. One of my biggest pet peeves with a lot of the tarot decks that come out, especially lately, and I know this is probably like you know, preaching to the choir type thing or beating an unalived horse, right? It's just like yeah, enough already, we get it. But it's important to me to have that diversity in my different decks and everything, because traditionally the Rider-Waite tarot deck was, you know, not diverse at all. I didn't see people who looked like me or other ethnicities in the deck. And so when you can see yourself in these images, it makes it so much easier to connect to and really hone into the energy and the soul of the deck in terms of being a novice reader or you know, beginner at tarot altogether, just trying to figure it out and figure out how to relate and how to connect to all the symbolism and terminology and structure of the 78 tarot decks, you know. So I think it's important when you can see yourself in these different images and relate to them a lot easier, and it helps to commit things to memory and, like I said, just overall connect to them. We're on the Temperance at this point. Let's see, we've got the infamous Devil card. A lot of people are afraid of that card, but it's really nothing to be afraid of in the tarot at all. Again, this is all symbolism, connection pieces where it's a matter of experience and perspective. I don't teach tarot in the traditional sense of the traditional meanings for each card. Like, I introduce them, I share them, we cover them, we discuss them, but I like to make sure that the people that whenever I'm teaching tarot or reading for myself, that it's coming from a much more empowering state. And so, yes, the traditional meanings and symbolism, wow, if I can talk, symbolism is very important. But it's also important to understand how you, as a channel for the messages that are coming through, relate to the context of the tarot cards and their meanings, and then what that looks like, or how the information funnels and channels through you as a vessel, according to your own belief systems and life experiences. A lot of people don't talk about that when speaking about reading tarot or learning tarot for the first time and things of that nature. But a lot of the messages and symbolism and things of that nature, the way that you see and receive messages reading the cards, is depending on your own belief systems and the experiences that you have had in the world or while on this earth. And so it's not that the message is necessarily skewed, which it can be. That's a story for a different day. But it's really a matter of understanding how you receive the messages and what different things mean specifically for you. It's kind of like when we talk about angel numbers, right? And so 1111, generally speaking, on a general collective vibration, we know is about your thoughts and your mindset and watching what you think and say, because you're manifesting rapidly, right? But 1111 for you and 1111 for me personally, right, can mean two different things, because our spirit team is connecting and communicating with us differently based on the different experiences and belief systems that we have in place as we go throughout our human experience here on earth. So tarot, much like any other spiritual tool and resource, is just a tool, right? It's a resource, something to help you channel and direct the energy that you are already receiving and sharing between yourself and spirit, yourself and your spirit team, yourself and others, or those that you read for. We are now in the sword suit on the 2 of Swords, 3 of Swords. I mean, this is just a beautiful deck all around. Now, I will say that the images, so the finish of the images is not as vibrant as I thought they would be, compared to, like, so you have this etching on the back of the cards. I was expecting for it to be more of that finish there, if you can see. But all the same, still not a bad finish at all. Very clear and concise on the information, and legible and things of that nature. So I think it's a really beautiful deck. I'm excited to use these in some of our upcoming reading videos that I'll be doing here for you. Nine of Swords. And so you even got the element, you've got the number, you've got the associated zodiac signs and symbolism from the traditional Rider-Waite. You've got the numerology and the planet signs, so it's really cool. And then you've got the reverse here, and then the upright descriptions, and then it also tells you whether or not it's from the minor arcana or the major arcana. So that's pretty cool and very helpful, again, especially if you're watching this and you are not necessarily new to tarot but learning how to read tarot as a beginner. So yeah, it's pretty cool. We've got the Queen of Swords. And so as you can see here, if there's no associated planet, it's just left blank, which is cool. It doesn't look bad, but I don't know, just the planner in me, I don't know if it's the planner or type A there, maybe that's the phrase I'm looking for, but the type A in me wants there to be something to feel that, or I don't know. It doesn't look bad though, it doesn't look bad. That's just me nitpicking. But yeah, so we're now on the Suit of Cups. We got the Two of Cups, Three of Cups. It's a really beautiful deck, and like I said, I love that the images in and of themselves are very diverse, and it gives you a more modern take on the images in the traditional Rider-Waite-Smith tarot deck. So I think it's pretty cool. I think it's very, very cool. And in just a moment here, we are going to test the shuffle on it, because I am someone that typically likes to shuffle as if you're playing cards. It's the best way I know how to describe that. I don't remember the correct terminology for it. Maybe it's bridge shuffle. I don't know. Don't quote me on that. But essentially, I like to shuffle as if you're playing with a regular deck of cards. And so the size here is also great, because as you can see, my hand is not the biggest. And so it's going to be easy to handle this particular deck. And even though the card stock isn't a little bit sturdier, it's going to make for excellent shuffling. My only concern with this deck, like any other deck that I own, is going to be the gilded edges, to see whether or not it's going to hold up. I have another deck that, unfortunately, because I'm not even that hard on my decks, we're actually in the Pentacles suit of the tarot deck now. But I'm not hard on my tarot decks at all. Like, I have decks that I've had for years, like since I was a kid and I first started reading, and they're in excellent condition, and I use them nearly every day. But I have one deck in particular. The deck itself is gorgeous, but it didn't hold up. I'm going to show it to you in a moment when we get done going through each of these cards here, and before we jump into the deck interview. So if you are new to me and are not used to watching my deck unboxings and things of that nature, I like to do deck interviews to figure out, to get to know the deck and figure out why the deck came to me, like what it's here to help me with. So here's our shuffle test. The shuffle is pretty good. It needs to be broken in a little bit, but for the most part, shuffle's pretty good. And then for those of you that like to shuffle sideways, the shuffle is really great on that as well. Oh, we've got a card that wants to pop out, and in reverse we have Imposter Syndrome, Deceit, Extramarital Affair. You feel like you don't belong and are getting a solid sense of imposter syndrome, or you're deceiving yourself somehow and the secret is causing too much stress. Come clean and forgive. So I don't know who this message is for, but it wanted to pop out for you, honey. All right. Nine of Swords as well. Okay. Oops. So stuff is pretty good. We just got all kind of cards popping out. Listen, let's wait until it's time to... Okay, so really quickly before I do that, so here's the deck that I was telling you about. I freaking love this deck, but the edges didn't hold up. You can see that they're white and everything, but they're also coming up. Like you can see where they're peeling, like the sides and everything are peeling, and they just didn't hold up. And I had to contact the manufacturer or the creator of the deck, and they were kind enough to send me another. You can see where the card is literally coming up, right? But they were kind enough to send me another deck, which I haven't touched. I just keep using this one since it's already used. And the other one that they sent me, I have not touched it at all, because I want to keep it in pristine condition. But I digress. So let's go ahead and dive into the deck interview. So in case you're wondering, this is the deck interview that we're going to do. It's by Tarotorial, and it's just one of my favorite spreads to use. I've been using it for years and years and years. They have a page on Instagram, but it has not been updated or in use for several years now. But they still have really great tarot spreads on there that you can use as a tool and resource to help you learn how to utilize your different decks and practice reading tarot. So that'll be cool too. But this is the deck interview that we're going to use. All right. And the reason why I love to do deck interviews is because I'm a firm believer that the decks themselves, Oracle and Tarot alike, they have souls. And I know that may seem a bit strange and unorthodox or what have you, but I really am a firm believer that they have soul energy in them, specifically because the creator of the deck has put their life force energy into each of the images and descriptions and things of that nature, and that energy continues to live on. And so whenever you're purchasing different decks, it's always a phenomenal idea for you to take the time to introduce yourself to the deck via a deck interview and get to know the deck and the reason why it has come to you and why it's looking to connect with you, support you, help you, and guide you, right? And so it's just one of my favorite things to do. All right, so we have position 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. All right. So position number 1, we have the 7 of Swords. And so let's see, trickery, deception, betrayal. Wow. Sneaking around. So you're sneaking around and thinking you've gotten away with it. One misstep and you're caught. Find shortcuts to get through responsibilities so that you can focus on the bigger picture. This to me so position number 1 is all about the deck, right? And so this tells me about the deck's personality and essentially the essence of the deck. And what this tells me with the 7 of Swords, especially when we're talking about trickery, betrayal and taking shortcuts, right? It's here to help me kind of pinpoint different things that I may be missing or unaware of, but also to help me skip unnecessary steps so that I can get to the point of things, right? And I think that's pretty cool. All right, so position number 2 is how the deck wants to be used. Oh, we've got another 7. We're on these 7s, okay? 7 of Wands. So challenge, protection, competition, perseverance. So you may have reached a significant milestone, but naysayers try to knock you back. Hold your ground because you know you've got this, and don't you dare let anyone tell you otherwise. And so again, this deck is letting me know that it's here to help me take shortcuts or skip over the unnecessary steps, and to essentially keep a level head in the process, right? All right, so position number 3 is in reverse for us, and the position number 3 is what the deck thinks of me. Oh no. So we got the Page of Swords in reverse. So this is, you're feeling introverted. Release that fear of public speaking and go for it. Be sure to think carefully before speaking or acting on anything, and be cautious of making empty promises. Don't tarnish your reputation. So I can already see now this deck is, again, like straight talk, no chaser. We're getting straight to the point of things. Like, skip the unnecessary steps, get to the thick of it, keep going, focus on what you actually want, and then keep going. Let's make shit happen type thing. And so with this particular card, I must say I am a very introverted individual. I spend a lot of time just building self-awareness and things of that nature. If you know anything about human design, I'm a 1-3 manifestor energy type, and that energy is on a life path that's self-focused. So everything is, the energy is turned inward. Not to mention the manifestor aura, energy aura type is already like very dense and protective and focused inward. And so it's funny that the deck would call me out for that, but I digress. Let's keep going, okay? All right, and so 1, 2, 3. So we're on position number 4. Position number 4 is the collaboration. So how the deck wants to work together, okay? So this one says avoid conflict, tension, release, and respecting differences. You have some internal conflict and are unsure where you stand on the issue. Align your head with your heart to find the option that suits you best. You may just have come out of the struggle or stressful situations. And so this particular deck wants to work together to overcome difficulty, right? Again, it's all about, hey, how can we make things as simple as possible, cut through the noise, cut straight to the point, and keep a level head, right? Essentially, it's about trusting, or this deck is here to help me lean into and trust myself more. So quick backstory, I am in the middle of an identity shift, and so funny to be called out this way, but here it is. I digress. Whatever, it is what it is. Maybe somebody needs to hear this story to learn from it, but essentially I'm in the middle of an identity shift where I'm stepping into a more conscious and aware and empowered version of myself. And the past couple of days, there have been some doubts as to whether or not it's going to happen, or I'm able to fully embody this energy, this version of myself that I am seeing and exploring, and in a lot of ways experimenting with the essence of. And so it's very funny that this is all coming out in this particular way. But again, maybe somebody needs to hear this story, and my advice to you is to just simply keep going and to take things one day at a time. And if one day at a time is too much, take it one moment at a time. Again, the present is really all we have. The past is done and over with. Take the lesson and wisdom from that to assist you with the present. And then the future hasn't happened yet, so it's fair game. You know, anything can happen at any point in time. And so I'm actually just about done with it. It's a quick read, but there's a book called The 7 Laws of Success. And one of the laws in there talks about the past, present, and future. And it's the law of intention and attention. My apologies. Fifth law in the book. Bear with me, I promise there's a point. So in the law of intention and attention, it talks about the past, present, and the future. And the past, essentially the energetic essence being of wisdom. So there was a lesson you were supposed to learn from your past experiences. And then in the present, this is where your attention and awareness is, right? And so the lessons you've learned in the past are supposed to help you with your awareness in the present. And then the future is your intention. So in the present, your attention is focused on taking action with the intention of the future in sight. So it's already like the expectation that your intention for the future is going to happen, but you're detached from the way that is going to happen. And so again, if you can't take things day by day, take it moment by moment and allow yourself to be focused and have your attention on the present, okay? All right, so getting to position number 5. Position number 5 is the mindset of this deck. So when we talk about the mindset of your tarot decks, it's more so like the lens that it is looking through when it's serving as a conduit for the channeled messages that you're getting, right? So it's the same thing with us. Our life experiences shape our mindset, right? Our belief systems shape our mindset. And it's kind of the same thing for the deck. And so we've got the 9 of Swords in reverse. Remember that card popped out earlier? So we've got secrets, deep-seated concern, inner turmoil, releasing worry. And so past trauma may be rearing its ugly head once again, but there is hope. So as long as you are willing to try to fight, take care of your mental health and know it's not as isolating as it may seem. And so with the direction that this particular deck is communicating and telling us, hey, this is what I'm here to do and help you again to cut through the noise and make sure that we keep a level head and things of that nature. The mindset that it's coming from is just concerned with my mental well-being, my emotional well-being, and making sure that I understand and am aware of that there's still hope, there's still an opportunity to turn things around and for things to come out skittles and rainbows, if you will, right? And so there's still a fighting chance. And I think it's so freaking cool that this deck is showing up right here, right now, because I'm in the middle of this identity shift. So I'm so excited. Okay, so now we're going to position number 6. And 6 is how the deck wants to be cleansed. Oh my God. I love when the moon card pops up in this position. Okay, so obviously we got the moon card. This is illusion, unconscious risk, intuition, caution, confusion. So the moon is telling you that things may not be as they seem. Trust your instincts to see past these illusions. And you may also be experiencing mood swings, dormant insecurity, or stability. So what this tells me in terms of how the deck likes to be cleansed, and if you don't cleanse your decks, what are you doing? We'll see about comment below and let me know if you want me to make a video about how to cleanse your tarot decks and things of that nature. I would love to share some of my rituals with you. But anyway, this deck wants to be cleansed under the moon. So it's really, really cool and one of my favorite things to do. So I love when the moon pops up in this particular position in the deck interview spread. So position number 7. This is action. So the underlying action that the deck is looking for me to take whenever we channel messages together and work together. So we have the 2 of Swords. Oh, so this is decisions. I love this. So 2 of Swords, the representation here is indecision, stalemate, being at an impasse, avoidance, or weighing of options. So another common theme with the 2 of Swords is rejection, right? And so the 2 of Swords is often related to balance in relationships. You're having difficulty maintaining partnerships. Are you choosing to keep on the blindfold? Avoiding issues won't make them go away. And so essentially what this deck is nudging me to do whenever we work together is to take action, to make a decision and decide and take the next step. Okay, so now we're on position 8, which is meditation. And so meditation, I like to look at it a couple different ways for this particular tarot spread. So this could be the mindset that the deck wants me to be in. or operate from when receiving messages from this particular deck or using this deck to channel messages. Or it could just simply be the form of meditation, aka concentration, that the deck wants to have whenever we work together. Okay, it wants to be the center of focus whenever we work together. So we got the Four of Pentacles, and so this is security, conservatism, scarcity, control, restraint. And so you've accumulated a significant amount of material wealth. Without risk, there is no reward. Don't be afraid to jump into uncharted territory. Try a new adventure, invest in businesses, or seek new opportunities. And so essentially, what I get from this is that the deck just wants me to be open-minded and willing to try, willing to take a risk, okay? All right, and then the last position is a ritual, and we have the Eight of Wands. And so this particular position, when we talk about a ritual, we're talking about a habit, right? And so usually in this particular tarot spread, my interpretation of this position is just simply the habit that is here to help me develop, explore, and or break, okay, depending upon what it is. And so Eight of Wands is alignment, air travel, action, movement, and quick decisions. I'm laughing because I'm an emotional authority in human design. And if you know anything about human design and emotional authorities, then you know that we're energetically wired to wait at least a minimum of 24 hours. Just a general rule of thumb is to wait 24 hours or sleep on a decision. And so it's so funny that this is here to help me make decisions quicker, if you will, or in my mind, it's saying just to gain more certainty and clarity around necessary decisions, and to do it in a more productive way versus delaying things for the sake of fear, if that makes sense, right? So the description for the Eight of Wands says, strike while the iron is hot. Removing distractions and devoting yourself to an activity or opportunity will propel you closer to your goal. Be mindful of where your energy needs to be placed and use it wisely. What did I just tell you? What did I just say? What did I just say? So that is our deck interview. This is pretty freaking cool. I hope that hearing bits and pieces of my story is not only inspiring for you, but empowering as well. And just remind you that there is an upside, there is a way forward, and there is always an opportunity to see things from a different perspective and different point of view. I would love to know what your thoughts are about this deck, and if you are interested in purchasing it, if you're going to buy it. I'm not selling it, but Raven and Rogue are, right? So you can visit them at ravenandrogue.com. This is not a sponsored video. As you can see, I paid my own money. The deck was, I didn't tell you. The deck was $45 plus shipping. Shipping was, where is it? $7. So yeah, paid my own money for this. This is not sponsored, but comment below and let me know what you think about the deck. If you are planning on purchasing it yourself, make sure you subscribe and comment below. Let me know. All right, love. See you in the next video. Bye.
Oh, you fancy, huh? Let me see your hands. Wave them at them bitches hating on you with their friends. Girl, you got it.